IVM.
Most of the investors are either uh, lazy, busy, or crazy.
Why lazy, busy, crazy?
Yeah,
I
that's-
like the sound of that.
That's and it's not trying to kind of demean anybody. It's just that I'm lazy because I really I need money. I am interested in money, but I don't want to manage money.
Okay.
So I'm really lazy about money management. Yes, earning money, having money is great, but managing money, I'm lazy. Second, I'm busy. I have my personal life, social life. Work is there. My social commitments are there.
Correct.
If nothing today, WhatsApp and OTT is there, right? So we are really busy. And lastly, crazy.
Yeah, okay.
Those who invest directly in markets without a professional, they're all the time looking at the money controls and the way the stocks are moving up and down. Behavioral biases, we all know, the herd mentality and stuff like that, right? So we actually are crazy when it comes to managing money and investments on our own.
Folks, welcome to Paisa Vaisa. I'm your host Anupam Gupta, B50 on Twitter. And on today's episode, my guest, Sadique Neelgund, founder and director of NetworkFP. We're going to talk about state of financial advice in India today, and how you can choose the right finance professional for yourself. All of this. Sadique, welcome to Paisa Vaisa. Thank you so much for doing this for our listeners.
Thank you so much for the invitation. Happy to be here.
Thank
Anupam.
you. So tell us about NetworkFP. What does FP stand for? Why did you start it? What is it about? Who are the members? Let's start from there.
So, Anupam, Network FP stands for Network of Personal Finance Professionals. And we are a organization where all the personal finance professionals who are certified financial planners, qualified personal finance professionals, RIAs, MFDs, mutual fund distributors, insurance, dealing with stocks, insurance, all these things, they come together. And we subscribe to the philosophy of client first, trying to ensure that whatever we are recommending to the client, their interests are kept before our own interest. And second, we are also knowledge-driven professionals. So we are on a continuous education spirit and ensure that our knowledge gets transmitted into client success. So currently, we are an organization with around 1,000 plus members across 120 cities across India. So that's how Network FPS, and we started in the year 2011.
So that's 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you to help our listeners make sense of this term financial intermediaries. Whatever term that you choose, the community that you reach out to, if you were to classify them across the spectrum, okay, either by the certification that they've received or the work that they do, because for me, as someone who's on the outside, as a retail, let's just call it retail investor, sometimes it can get confusing. There is a CFP who's a certified financial professional. There's an RIA who's a registered investment advisor. Then there is an MFD who is a mutual fund distributor. And then there is an insurance agent. So all of these are different people governed by different bodies with different certifications.
Right.
Just map it out for our listeners to understand this.
Yeah. So we call it as the alphabetical soup. There's so many alphabets and jargons and, MFD, RIA, CFP, then QPFP.
Yeah.
So the way the market is structured, Anupam, there are people who deal with specific products like mutual funds. So they do mutual fund distribution. There are stockbrokers who deal with direct stocks. There are insurance agents who deal with insurance, life insurance, and general insurance. And then there are investment advisors, the registered investment advisors, who largely deal with, again, stocks and mutual funds, but on a direct mode. So we need to really see it from two perspectives. One is what products they deal with and what licenses they hold. So and that's how the market is structured. And apart from that, there are certifications like the certified financial planner and the QPFP, qualified personal finance professional. So these are certifications, but certification and licenses are different. So from the very general public point of view, all that you have to do is you have to work with a qualified guy who deals with the product or the service that you require. It really doesn't matter what name they are called. And at NetworkFP, we have coined a nice term for it, which is called as personal finance professionals. At the end of the day, everybody's job, or whatever name you call them by, is to take care of clients' money, to ensure that the client's money is utilized in the best possible manner to fulfill their objectives. For some, the objective might be returns. For some, the objective might be some goals. For some, the objective might be children's education, retirement, wealth creation, financial freedom, whatever goals and objectives you call it. So anybody who helps you achieve your objectives is a personal finance professional. Now, these names will continue. We have created a lot of names. Regulators have created these names, and also the market dynamics have created these names to differentiate themselves from others. Ultimately, we have to work with one trustworthy, competent guy for our money management.
So let's start with PFP, okay? Because I think that's a term that is easily understandable.
Yeah.
A personal finance professional.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about what NetworkFP does here, because you've got a course that's called QPFP.
QPFP, Qualified Personal Finance Professional.
Can you talk about that for
Yeah.
us?
So if you see personal finance professional, there are two words largely to it. In fact, three words. Personal finance is nothing but personal and finance. Just the way there's corporate finance. The corporate finance deals with assets, liabilities, income, expenditure. Any family as a unit also has asset, liabilities, income, expenditure, net worth, and savings, right? So you deal with that, and it is more personal than finance, as Morgan Housel puts it, right? So to that extent, anything to do with a family finances is called as personal finance. Anything to do with a company's finance is called as corporate finance. As simple as that. And any professional who does it in a professional way, which is who has the knowledge base, who conducts himself well, who is subscribing to some code of ethics, and then doing this as a profession to earn a living as well as deliver value to the client, is called as a personal finance professional. And we at NetworkFP, Anupam, we are trying to get all such kind of like-minded people together, educate them at the beginning and on a continuous basis, and also trying to see how we can connect them ultimately to the public, because the public, the investors, they have two choices: either do it themselves or work with a professional. So our attempt is to help build this community, grow this community, and connect them to the public so that the larger public than the investors benefit from the professionals.
Yeah, so I'm going to break this down into two parts, the community and for the public. Okay?
Yes.
I want to start with the community.
Yeah.
What is the average profile, let's say, of someone who's listed on NetworkFP? You said you've got about 900 people in your community?
Yes, we have around 1,000 plus, 900 are currently listed.
Okay. What am I looking at out here? Who are these people?
So largely, these people would comply with our education criteria. We have set out 3 education criteria. They should be a graduate in any stream. They should have passed any one industry exam, like a SEBI exam or a NISM exam or a IRDA exam or RBI exam, any of the regulator mandated examination. And third, they should have completed any one personal finance qualification. Like a certified financial planner or a qualified personal finance professional or a chartered wealth manager. The idea is that you cannot really go out to the public and start telling them what to do with their money without having the knowledge base. A doctor, Anupam, goes through a 5-year rigorous program or education program before having that MBBS as his designation or as his this, right? Chartered accountant goes through at least 2-3 years of education. Why should it be different for a personal finance professional? So we said anybody who has certain these education in place will get listed, and along with that they also take something called as ethics oath, which means they voluntarily comply that I'll not do anything wrong with my clients. I'll have my client's interest first. I'll be ethical. I'll be transparent. I'll do holistic and things like that. So this is a kind of hygiene profile. And apart from that, most of them deal with at least 50 to 100 families. They are experienced. Our average, the listing of our members would be around 10 to 15 years or more. And they would be managing assets of around 50 to 100 crores of assets or more. So that's the average profile. So somebody whom you can kind of trust because they are competent and they subscribe to the concept of client-first approach.
And I believe that on my show, I've had quite a few of quite a few advisors who are listed.
Absolutely. Right
Suresh
from
was there. I didn't.
Suresh Sudhagappan, Lovai, then Vishal,
Vishal
then
Saini, they've
Brunal,
all been
Sriram,
there. Yeah.
many of them.
What a wonderful coincidence. And now the second part, for the public. So what's in it for me as a listener? Let's say someone who's listening into this, what does NetworkFP have to offer to them?
So we have two offerings for the public. One is we do investor education programs, which we call it as financial well-being camps. So we have done a lot of these kind of camps in companies like Wipro, Datamatics, Infosys, Airtel, many of the corporates. The idea is educate the public on right money management. And in return, because we deal with professionals, we bring awareness about how to work with professionals, who are the professionals, and if they want to work with them, reach out to them through our directory. So one is this investor awareness, and second is the directory, which is India's first and unique directory. Because ultimately, if you see, Anupam, most of us, when we want to work with a professional, we really don't know where to go. You go to Amphi website, the entire 1 lakh Amphi database is listed. You go to RI SEBI website.
Don't go there. I have gone through it, and I love. I mean, I'm a big fan of SEBI. They're doing brilliant work as a regulator. But yeah, that is what it is. It's a listing. It's an alphabetical listing, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying.
So we are trying to solve that problem. If I want to work with a personal finance professional, where should I go? How do I evaluate? How do I reach out? Is the problem which we are trying to solve for the public.
Yeah, I want to get into the directory because I had a look at it and it looked really impressive. What does this directory offer? Because each finance professional, personal finance professional, has his own page. Okay, just describe this for us because it's an audio show, but I'm sure that people who are listening into it, just go into your browser, hit networkfp.com.
Yeah, members.networkfp.com.
Yeah, so folks, if you're listening into this and if you've got a browser open, members.networkfp.com is where you have to go. Sadique, what awaits us when we go there?
So first, you'll be able to search for a professional within your vicinity. Suppose you are from, let's say, Hyderabad, Bangalore, or Aurangabad, wherever you are from. You can search the professionals who are listed, who are members in that area. And second, you also can search the professionals by what you need. Suppose I want to reach out to a professional for mutual funds. Yes. I want to reach out for retirement planning. Yes. I want to get my comprehensive financial plan done. Yes. So based on your, where you are from and what you really need at this point in time, you can search for professionals. And once you start browsing and, check out the various profiles, you'll be able to see the initial screening that you would have done otherwise and spent maybe hours going to their website or talking to them and all these things. We have done that and we have kept it in a clean way. So once you go to anybody's page, you would be able to see their education background, which is again verified by NetworkFP. It's not just that they have filled it and we have published. It's actually verified. We took their documents and we say, okay, you're done your graduation in this. Okay, you're a graduate. So that's the kind of this, right? And then the certificates that they have, then the number of families they serve, the kind of assets they manage, the services which they provide, the products they deal with, the licenses which they hold. That is also listed. Plus, we also kind of requested all our members to give out some complimentary services to the public.
Sure.
So every member gives out 2 or 3 complimentary services to the general public. Idea is that, Anupam, many people really do not know that professionals exist and how to work out professionals. We as a community, we have said, okay, look, let's not go out selling out there in the marketplace. Let's give them a taste of who we are, genuinely, without any expectation. And then if they like us, they'll come back to us. So to that extent, in fact, I would really highly recommend all of your listeners to go check out and, take 1 or 2 services complimentary on a complimentary basis. And then just see, if you're not working, at least see who is a professional and what they can do for your life.
Yeah. Sadique, you've been doing this. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of hard work.
Yes, sir.
What if someone just comes up and starts an Instagram account or an Insta Reels? This so-called finfluencer thing. Which is which is a phenomenon of the last 2-3 years. And before I ask you the question, I also want to give credit to them because honestly, that personal finance in general has lots of jargon. Okay, if someone is explaining to them in simple terms in a fun way, why to I always feel that the message is more important than the way that it's coming in. And if 10 people are benefiting from that, learning something good, what's wrong with that? Okay. And there is also the professional who's listed on your website, who's studied, educated, slogged, worked hard,
True.
built up a client profile, who's also doing the same thing. Okay. What's your view on this entire influencer ecosystem that's come up in the last few years?
So there are two ways at looking at it. One, if they are adding value to the public and the market, they should definitely be there and they should grow. And we also need to see from the public's point of view how to look at them and how to what extent they should take it and where they should stop taking it, right? So I think influencers have done a very good job in the absence, because many of the professionals are not able to cater to the masses.
Absolutely.
Let's agree to that. Because India is just too huge to be able to catered by very such few professionals. So they have done an excellent job with financial education. They have created a lot of awareness, which is very good. People know about certain terms which we as professionals might never had would have been able to reach out to masses. But at the same time, they have created some wrong expectations. For example, quick gains, early retirement, getting into direct stocks. All these are wrong expectations. So I don't know how this can be managed, but SEBI has taken certain actions around that, and hopefully it should fall in place. And if those actions are in place, I think influencers should go. Ultimately, I've had many people interacted with a lot of influencers myself, and they see it as, okay, the professionals and influencers should go together. Where the job of influencer stops, which is at educating, and people say, okay, I now need to work with a professional, we come into picture. So to that extent, you should know to what extent you should take the information and absorb the things from influencer and stop it at that. And once you have the access to a right professional and are able to afford working with the right professional, you should go to a professional.
Yeah, I want to just go into this dark side of stuff, this wrong advice, quick gains, fast money, stuff like that, I'm sure you'd also agree that there's nothing wrong in investing in stocks directly. Do it. No problem. But if someone is guaranteeing you that this stock will make 100% return, there is definitely a problem. SEBI also believes there's a problem. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's just differentiate the ecosystem here between, the dark side, the wrong message, and the right message. I think the right message, so we've been doing through this podcast, you've also spoken about it. Just explain to us what you just said about the wrong side, which is quick gains, shady products, stuff like that. Because I want our listeners to know so that they can differentiate between, an influencer who's probably doing genuinely good work about a message versus those who are just selling rubbish. Okay, let's talk about the dark side there.
Especially two things I would take as examples. One, if you go to YouTube, there's a lot of influencers who are doing videos on stock, hot tips, kind of this. So
F&O probably.
Yeah, F&Os and and if you see, till some time back, they had affiliations with many of the stockbrokers, the online platforms. So many of the times, the influencer is trying to see how I can push my listener to take some action, right? And your advice might be driven by what you're trying to achieve, indirectly.
Yes.
So we need to be aware where that influencer is coming from, what is his business model, where is his or her earning, and then take a little conscious call. I would strongly recommend, Anupam, very simply put, I think you should not have direct stocks recommendations and advice from YouTube. Let's put it like really very point blank. Anything else, somebody is teaching you around money management, savings, concepts, retirement, concepts, okay, long-term investing and all these things, yes, go for it. But anything which is a hot tip and stuff like that, a strict no.
Yeah, because you said you started in 2011.
Yeah.
This didn't exist then.
Yes.
Literally did not exist then.
Yeah.
From you've had maybe say 10 years from 2011 till say, the lockdown and the pandemic, which gave a lot of people a lot of time to learn about new things. And this was an unfortunate, side effect of it. In general, do you think it's a good question, or rather a good way to look at things as to what is his business model?
Yes.
Is that a good place to start from when you consider advice, whether it's coming from a YouTube channel or from a finance professional?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Transparency is a must.
Yeah.
In fact, even as a personal finance professional, whether it is fees or commission, it really doesn't matter as long as the person is transparent about how he's earning and what is the model. Second is delivering value for whatever he's earning, and third, he or she has a client first approach or a ethical approach towards recommending the strategy as well as the products.
Yeah, trust and ethics is really the center of all this, right?
Yeah, but it's very boring, Anupam, and people don't tend to listen to that. It's actually the core. But neither the professionals, neither the consumers really want to hear these words, trust, ethics, and integrity and all that stuff.
You know, it's interesting. Here we are talking about the influencers part about trust and integrity and ethics. But our industry has also had its share of...
Yes.
Can we just talk about that also for a while? Because every once in a while you hear this about my grandfather went into a bank and the bank guy sold him a ULIP.
Yes.
Now, who sells a ULIP to a senior citizen? You know, stuff like that, etc. What's your view on that? How has the industry, the manufacturers, the advisors, you know, how has that progress been? Where are we now? Can someone actually trust someone who's from the industry selling you a product? What do you think about that?
So, in fact, I came into this profession because I got exposed
is
to
that right?
mis-selling.
Talk to us about that. Yeah.
So, it was year 2004 when I was doing my MBA, and I was doing my internship with two of the largest banks, my summer internship and winter internship, and with banks, and as supposed to promote this NFOs and ULIPs.
2004, right?
2004.
Bull market, yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't make any headway, and I got to know what really is the gap there, right? What consumers wanted and what is happening on the intermediary side, and that's how I discovered the word financial planning, financial plan, and the right way of delivering advice and giving recommendation to the clients. So post that, I joined FPSB India, Financial Planning Standards Board India, which administers the CFP certification, the Certified Financial Planner.
This is at that point of time, it was affiliated with the US FPSB, which is a fairly reputable and very highly regarded.
Even now it is affiliated to US.
To US, okay, sure.
Yeah. So that's how I got into the profession. And since then the mission has been to help to ensure that the intermediaries are client-centric and not doing any mis-selling in whatever way we can, by teaching them the right ways, telling them, nudging them again and again, okay, this is the right way of doing things, and ensuring that the public is aware to whom to work with and whom not to work with. And this will continue, Anupam, according to my sense, irrespective of number of regulations that come in. People will always find a shortcut or faster way of making money, and I think it is really absolutely like it cannot be like totally unavoidable. It's just that all that we have to keep pushing for as a regulator, as market forces, we as educators, is push for transparency and push awareness and education. So that's what we need to be doing.
Okay, Sadique, I want to figure a few questions that are always at the top of mind for a lot of listeners. I know because I've had conversations with a lot of people about handling their money, personal finance, like you said. So I think one of them is obviously DIY, do it yourself, versus hiring a professional. Now, my own understanding is both have their own place at certain points of time. But I want your view on this. You know, a lot of people feel they're confident enough to do it on their own.
Yeah.
A lot of people actually need a professional, and they go to them also. But what's your view on this?
So there is, again, two ways of looking at it. One from the consumer point of view, and or let's say the demand point of view, and second is from the supply point of view. We think, the consumers, the investors, money management is actually no rocket science. It requires time. It requires some basic understanding of the products and markets, and it requires an inclination. So at the same time, Anupam, without trying to demean the consumers or investors, I say that most of the investors are either lazy, busy, or crazy.
Oh, hey, lazy, busy, crazy.
Yeah,
I like the sound of that.
That's and it's not trying to kind of demean anybody. It's just that I'm lazy because I need money. I am interested in money, but I don't want to manage money.
Okay.
So I'm really lazy about money management. Yes, earning money, having money is great, but managing money, I'm lazy. Second, I'm busy. I have my personal life, social life. Work is there. My social commitments are there.
Correct.
If nothing today, WhatsApp and OTT is there, right? So we are really busy. And lastly, crazy.
Okay.
Those who invest directly in markets without a professional, they're all the time looking at the money controls and the way the stocks are moving up and down. Behavioral biases, we all know, the herd mentality and stuff like that, right? So we actually are crazy when it comes to managing money and investments on our own. And I must tell you, many of the investors today who invest directly in stocks, including doctors, in between patients coming and going, they check the markets. Like, really, this looks funny, but that's happening, sir.
Yeah, I hope that that's not happening during my dental appointment at least. But yeah, I get
And
what you're
even
saying.
the software engineers, they are doing trading during the market. Some of them.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks very. We should not be speaking this, but this is the reality. Some of them have actually got onto that. Instead, let's focus on work, let's focus on our career, let's focus on our family, and outsource the work to a right professional.
Correct.
And from the professional's point of view, the problem is really about the supply. I think there are not enough accessible and affordable professionals out there. We have the list of RIAs and MFDs. But if you see, if you see the RIA number, it's like 300 to 400 people who are actually doing comprehensive financial planning for a country like India. Mutual fund distributors, again, it's not really, there's no listing or there's no way in which I can go and access them and have a comprehensive way of
And
dealing
it's
with
mutual
money.
fund, not holistic.
And so
they're selling one product. Yeah.
So to that extent, the problem also has been on the supply side, because of this, I think DIYs, according to me, at this point in time, yes, at this point in time you go, but the day you find a good, trustworthy and competent professional, you should definitely work with him and at least try to karo.
Yeah. Trustworthy and competent professional.
Yeah.
Let's say that our listener wants exactly that. Make us a checklist that is going to help our listener find this trustworthy and competent professional. What would be your, point number 1, point number 2, point number 3 that you would look for?
Yeah.
I know that you have a directory already ready for anybody.
Yeah.
But let's just, put you with, say, in the shoes of someone who's giving this advice.
Yeah.
What would you say?
So I again have a way of putting it to the consumers. It's called as 3 C's. One is competency. Second is character. And third is connection. Competency is all about my ability to understand personal finance space, my understanding of the markets, my understanding of the products, solutions, that expertise. A doctor has a knowledge base. Yeah. A chartered accountant has a knowledge base. An engineer has a knowledge. Similarly, a personal finance professional should have a knowledge base across the products as well as the strategies. So one, that competency is important, and that can be found through qualification. Somebody who is again a CFP or a QPFP or a RIA or CWM, and there are many others. So at least one of the certifications a person should have. Second is character, which really cannot be judged, but still I think if you can check out some client testimonials, reviews, ask for referrals, and over a period of, I think, around 3 to 6 months, you get a sense of what this person is, really after, whether he or she is thinking in my interest or he or she is just trying to sell the products or push the products. And third is the connection, which I think is very important and missed out, which is how comfortable you feel talking about money to the person in front of you. And so again, it's very qualitative in nature, but over a period of 2 or 3 meetings, you get to know whether the person is really understanding me, is able to help me with beyond numbers. And a good trained professional, personal finance professional, Anupam, would also be trained, either self-trained or through some kind of education institute like us, would be trained on empathy and listening skills. which are really important, as much as important as understanding numbers and products and macroeconomics.
Wow. I don't hear that very often. Empathy and listening skills.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Why do you think so?
It's because, see, again, coming back to the personal finance as a word, it's more personal, 80% personal than finance.
So if I don't understand you, then how am I going to solve your problem? Yeah.
In fact, I should be a learner of the client. I'm a student of the client's life.
Yeah.
Numbers and the products and markets, it's fairly simple. It's like 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
But it's client's emotions, understanding, okay, if somebody actually wants to do this investment, why he wants to do this investment, what is the impact, what do the other family members are thinking about this, actually the investments karna bhi chahiye ki nahi karna chahiye, should he actually spend it on something which he really wants right now, he or she really wants right now. When thinking about retirement, many people are getting into the trap of early retirement. Is it really required? Second, am I compromising on today's lifestyle for saving up on my retirement? Many things, many softer aspects is important when we are dealing with personal finance.
Very interesting. Sadique, you mentioned in passing about referrals. Okay, does NetworkFP help me there? And a follow-up included in that question is: I don't know whether you already have it or not, but do you also have some kind of a rating system to help me, or
Yeah.
or do you have a point of view on that?
Yeah. So currently we don't have, since we launched it last year. As of now, we have tried to bring the right professionals together. But one of our things in the future is to see how we can ensure that people are able to gain a little bit more trust than just seeing the educational certificates and stuff like that. So reviews is today is the day of reviews. Everybody buys things on review, works on reviews. So we are trying to figure that out, and we'll try to put that in place in the coming future.
It's a tough one. Yeah. I mean, reviewing a food item in a restaurant is very different than reviewing the service of a professional who's built his entire thing. But then you're right. There are apps that aggregate doctors.
Yeah.
People leave reviews on there.
Yes.
अभी डॉक्टर से ज़्यादा important क्या चीज़ हो सकता है? If people can leave a review for the doctor, surely they can leave a review for that.
Yep.
So that's something to look forward for at NetworkFP.
Yes.
Okay. Talk to us about the fee structures of the professionals that are listed on NetworkFP. What kind of fees do they have? And if also you could give our listeners some kind of a benchmark or some kind of a rough cut idea. Let's say that I'm someone who's got, who's an employee, who's working. I've got a portfolio about 5 lakhs. I'm looking for someone who can sort my mutual fund portfolio.
Yeah.
Or any way to anchor or give our listeners an idea about the kind of fees that they're going to pay to these people.
Yeah. So largely, the personal finance professionals, who might include both fee-based as well as commission-based professionals, earn anywhere between 0.5% to 1% of your investments. That's largely the range. Whether RIA who is earning, having a fee only model, would anywhere charge 0.5 to 1%, or a MFD who is earning through the commission model would be earning 0.5 to 1%. So that is something which we have to kind of be comfortable with, and that 1% we are paying for the getting better returns, being able to accumulate more corpus, having peace of mind, and all that stuff, right? So that is the general fee model. Currently, Anupam, there are not many fixed fee model players in the place. Largely, it's asset-based model which is running. To give a kind of view on who should think of working with a professional, I think anybody who has at least 5 lakhs and above investable surplus, or 5 lakhs and above kind of income, would be able to find a good professional. And if you have 10 lakhs and above, either as income, annual income, or investable surplus, you'll get a damn good professional to work with you. So it's a simple kind of check mark. If you are having this kind of a income or this kind of an investment surplus, you should definitely explore working with a professional. Till then, yes, maybe some of the professional may not be open to working with you. At the same time, they would be happy to educate you. You can go and attend their seminars and education. Obviously, listening to this podcast and stuff like that is always good.
Yeah. Help us differentiate and understand the fee-based model versus the commission model.
So both the models. This is a very good question, and this is one of the often question which I
Something that
keep
people don't
addressing.
also understand very easily.
So both, according to us, are the same, but and the client is paying for that. In the fee-only model, the client is paying directly to the advisor, whereas in commission-based model, the client is paying to the advisor via the product manufacturer. It's like really very simple, and that percentage like really remains the same, 0.5% to around 1%, largely. Literally, Anupam, and you'll get different views from the market. When RIs come, they'll speak something. When MFDs come, they'll speak something.
Yeah.
But I'm a neutral person.
Obviously.
Okay, so I'll give my view. Literally, the right kind of professionals do the same kind of services,
Very interesting.
offer the same kind of results, offer the same kind of benefits to the end consumer. So I would really recommend that don't really go on the models. And also what happens is once you go higher up in the your investable surplus, suppose you have 1 crore, 2 crore, you definitely are paying like 2 lakh rupees through commissions, and you might want to start negotiating. 2 lakh, 3 lakhs is going through commissions. So you want to start negotiating. That's when you start going to a fee only financial advisor. But for example, if I'm working with a commission-based personal finance professional, suppose I have a 50 lakh portfolio and I'm giving out around 50,000 rupees. And in my mind, the value is almost worth 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs. I'm paying 50,000 through commission, but I'm getting value worth, let's say, 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs, or 2 lakhs, whatever. I always tell my people that you have to deliver value of 4x to 10x, irrespective of the mode of commission. In fact, to share with you, I'm a certified financial. I have passed my.
Yeah. I mean, you were among the original FPSP guys, so I'm assuming that you had given the exam and passed it.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I didn't have the exam question bank with me, by the way. so
ये मेरे को फर्क नहीं पड़ता because I'm terrified of exams. I can't give any exam. So honestly, so I in fact admire the fact that you've sat, given an exam, passed it, got the CFP degree. Am I right?
Yes, way back in 2006-07.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Yeah, so and I work and I invest through regular funds.
Yeah.
Through commission-based personal finance professional.
Yeah.
And in my mind and with my family, whatever I'm paying through commissions, I know that I'm getting much more value than that. That's it.
See, that's the thing, when you're signing a check, or rather, you're paying a professional for his service versus buying a product which already has a commission inbuilt. You're not signing a check to that guy then. He's giving you service and you're not paying him anything for that service.
Correct.
Here, so you think that makes a psychological difference? पैसा तो same है.
Yeah.
यहाँ से भी उतना, वहाँ से भी उतना.
Yeah.
Method different है.
Yeah. It does make a psychological difference, and that's why the fee-only model is struggling in India. In fact, the other day I met a professional who has a fee-only model set up in US, RIA fee-only model in US, and has a MFD fee, commission-based model in India.
Okay.
And he gave the reasons were twofold. One is the market readiness, and second is also the regulatory environment. So he had to choose between, okay, what is best suited for the business in India. Okay, this is how it is functioning in India, so it is. US, it is ready, regulatory environment is good, so I do that way there. That's how it is.
So where are we going with this? In the sense that, what about people who can't afford a profession? It's okay for him to buy mutual funds and insurance through commission-based, agents or whatever. But how do you think we'll solve this financial planning problem? And I'm calling it a problem because there are, like you said, the supply is an issue. How are we going to solve this financial planning problem at scale in the long term? What needs to change? What do you think needs to happen?
So I think 2 or 3 fold measures are required, and from all the players who are in the marketplace. One is definitely increasing the financial intermediaries or the personal finance professionals. And to that extent, we have to make this a little bit more remunerative profession. From the regulators' fronts, they have to do it. They have to work on it. And also it solves for the employment problem of India, right? If we can really solve for that, we have insurance agents, but they are not personal finance professionals,
Correct.
right? We have a lot of distributors, but they're not trying to do it in a comprehensive way. So we really need to work on increasing the financial intermediaries. That's a hard part, but that solves two problems: employment problem as well as this problem. Second is definitely, the work that you are doing in financial
Thank you very much.
education.
The work that you're doing. Come on.
we
You're
are
also
all
there.
doing financial education. I think this has really increased these days. Whenever I ask my members what is the change that you have seen over the past 10 years, one thing they all say is that now my clients are more informed than what they were 5 years back or 10 years back. So definitely financial education has a role to play. And third is technology. Nowadays people are really tuned into the apps, and some of them are really trying to solve this piece through the tech part, because when it comes to humans, definitely there's a lot of engagement. We expect a little bit of as humans we can serve only around 150 200 clients at max, and definitely we'll try and serve the people who are giving us the best possible revenues, right? So to that extent, I think the threefold measure, right from increasing the supply, intermediate financial professionals, education and tech, is what will solve this.
Yeah. What's happening at NetworkFP? What are your future plans? What are the products that you're offering? You spoke about the QFP. That's a
QPFP,
the QPFP.
Yeah.
That's a certification course that you have talked to us about. That products that you offer at NetworkFP. If there's any event that you're hosting, can our listeners take part in it? Future plans. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So we have 4 core offerings, 3 for the professionals, 1 for the consumers. We have the qualified personal finance professional. So anybody who wants to get into this profession, or who is already into profession and wants to upgrade himself to a little bit more, not a little bit more, it's actually a lot more competency, which any distributor or agent can or advisor can upgrade himself to.
Sure.
And the new people who are coming system, for them it is qualified personal finance professional. It's a 6-month program. Second is our pro membership, which is a continuous education. We believe in continuous education. Every week we do sessions for the professionals, and there we have around 1200 people across 120 cities. Third is our events. We host India's largest event for personal finance professionals. So this happens every January. This time we are actually going to 12 cities across India. So January, February, March. So if you're a professional, so look forward to see you there. And last but not the least, which I want to offer as something to your consumers, we do free consumer awareness programs, investor awareness programs. These are 1 to 2 hour financial well-being camps. They are done by professionals, absolutely unbiased, no sales, no obligation. Just as a community, we want to reach out to maximum people and tell people, okay, look, here's a better way of managing your money. You need not work with us, but at least start taking charge of your finances, right? So if somebody is interested, they can write to us, and we would be happy to. If you're working in a corporate, we'll talk to your HR, we'll talk to your senior management. If you're in a society, we'll talk to your society people.
So helpful. Yeah.
If you are a part of club, we'll talk to your club president. Wherever it is, we have done more than 1,000 such programs now, addressing thousands and lakhs of consumers. We would be happy to do it. We will talk and we'll do it, and it's absolutely free.
Right.
And our members, the people who have come on your show, Anupam, they are the ones who will be going and speaking.
How about that?
So the good, genuine people, good people who will be going and speaking.
So folks, the site is NetworkFP. Like Sadique said, that if you're working in a company and you've got a lot of people and you want someone professional to address you about personal finance needs, or if you're in a society, a lot of gated communities these days, which have multiple towers, a lot of people, and you want someone to come there and spend like quality time, seriously good professional, reach out to Sadique at
info at networkfp.com, and we should be taking it forward from there.
Wonderful.
Info at networkfp.com.
I wish NetworkFP and your team all the best, and I hope that you do many such events and spread the message of financial awareness and financial well-being, as I believe the word is nowadays. Okay, Sadique, our last question, a standard question. Any book that you're reading or anything that you're, any content recommendations for our listeners?
So, currently I'm rereading a book called as Essentialism.
Wow.
Which speaks about less but better.
Nice.
The vital few. the pursuit of the disciplined pursuit of less, because nowadays we have so many options, right?
Yeah.
From career option to choosing our clothes to
Food,
managing money.
everything, managing money. Yeah.
So many products, so many things. So less but better is what I'm currently. I mean, the book name is Essentialism.
Sure.
I think it's a beautiful book. Everybody, I'm reading it for actually the third time now.
Oh, wow.
So
when was the first time you read it?
I think I read it during COVID, just at the end of COVID. Then I
Right,
made
right.
my entire team to read that book.
How nice.
And I've come to a conclusion, Anupam, that instead of reading a lot of books, I should pick up some 12 to 15 good books and read them again and again and apply them.
That is a hack. I mean, that is so interesting. That is so useful.
Yeah.
Rather than trying, all kinds of things and then, some measure of degree and of success and failure. But if you've got a list of books, just reading them second and third time is going to give you many more insights.
Absolutely. In fact, the second time you get more insights and you take more action, second
Yeah.
and third time. So that's what I'm reading, and what I want to recommend to
Please.
your readers is two books. The one is the Almanac of Naval Ravikant.
Of course, yeah.
I think many of our readers already know it. It's a beautiful book.
And simple. Very,
And
very
simple,
simple. Yeah.
and really talks about optimizing for long term.
Yeah.
We are all thinking so much about short term, what's going to happen tomorrow, this month, but optimizing our life, work, career, business for long term is what I really love about his way of thinking.
Yeah.
And second book is of Indian author, which is directly around personal finance, which is Yogic Wealth by Gaurav Mashruwala.
Oh, wow. He's a veteran.
He's a
Gaurav
veteran.
Mashruwala is, of course,
We literally call
highly
him as
regarded.
we literally call him as the father of financial planning in India.
Oh, yeah.
So a mentor, my mentor. In fact, our first revenue came because of his workshop, and he has written a book on yogic wealth, and he has combined the learnings from Indian scriptures with the money management, and coming down to the basics, of why you're doing what you're doing, why you're investing, why you're spending on your children, why you're taking a car, why you're going on a vacation. I mean, having a purpose and why behind all your money decisions, and thinking of money management at a very fundamental level is what I really love about the book. Very simple, easy read.
And Gaurav Mashruwala, come on.
And Gaurav Mashruwala, of
Can't
course.
go wrong with that. I mean, he was doing this before, I think a lot of the influencers was probably even born, I would say.
Yeah.
And he's such a humble, he's very under the radar.
Yes.
You either know him or you don't know him, obviously. But 3 books, folks. Essentialism, The Almanac by Naval Ravikant, and of course, Yogic Wealth by Gaurav Mashruwala. 3 books. Sadique, thank you so much for that. With that, that's a wrap on this episode of Paisa Vaisa. My guest, Sadique Neelgund, founder and director of NetworkFP. Sadique, thank you so much for doing this for our listeners.
Thank you so much. Pleasure being here, and had a real good fun interacting with you.
Thank you, Sadique.
Thank you.
And listeners, you can check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can also follow us on our social media. We are IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. You want to reach out to me? I'm your host, Anupam Gupta, B50 on Twitter. Thank you, folks. Really, thank you so much for listening to Paisa Vaisa.
IVM